Before I start the video, remember that these are my opinions on if you should pull or save. I am taking meta in consideration most of the time. If you love a character, you don't have to listen to me, and you can pull for whoever you want to. I just want to help out in the decision-making process for players who also want to keep up with meta. Hello, everyone. Today's video will be a little different since I have already covered up all the 6.2 leaks. I will be discussing if you guys should pull or save for each banner coming in 6.2, Phase 1 and Phase 2. To begin with first phase, we have Durin as the new character, while also having Venti rerun. In second phase, we would have Varesa Xilonen, which I had already predicted in one of my videos according to the third Stygian boss coming in 6.2. I will also talk a little bit about columbina at the end of the video. Let's discuss each one of them. Before I talk about them, remember I will be really transparent and honest, so if you feel different than me, you absolutely don't have to listen to my opinion, and you can pull for your favorites. Also, some things are subject to change because they might nerf the characters or weapons by a little like they did with nefer, so keep that in mind. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all up to you guys on what you want to do and how you want to build your account and what characters you want to pull. This video is just what I think would be the best for your account. Please don't let my opinions and meta dictate you towards pulling into someone who you don't like to play. Now that I have got that out of the way, let's start with Durin and his weapon. As we already know, Durin will be part of Hexenzirkel group, which means he will pair really good with them. So far, he is easily a valuable pull for a lot of teams. I have already shown a few team calculations in one of my other videos, so make sure to check that video out after this one if you wanna. Also, if you use mavuika as a support in any of your teams, you should definitely pull for him to free up mavuika for a DPS team since she would give a lot more value. I had a comment that asked me the same question, so I thought I should mention it for anyone else who might be confused. Basically, to sum it up, Durin is really flexible in a lot of teams due to his dual forms. He provides good off-field and on-field pyro application with his bursts. You can easily build him as DPS or use him as support for a lot of characters. He is definitely a good upgrade for a lot of teams. Another point to note is that Nicole and Alice are Hexray characters too. So chances are Durin's full potential is currently unachievable. At least that's what I think. And there's also a controversial opinion about Varka joining Hexray characters in 6.4 version. This is not confirmed and is only an assumption. So Durin might be good with him too, but I cannot say for sure or definitely. As for Durin's weapon, I would say it's definitely really good. I have done calcs with a lot of other weapons to compare his signature with other weapons. I would definitely get his weapon as long as they don't nerf it upon releasing it and keep the stats same as beta servers. Whatever playstyle you choose, either support or DPS, his signature weapon will be good in every team. But there's one point I would like to add. If you are using Durin in overload teams as a support, his second best option looks to be our 1 Jade Cutter. The difference between those is really small, which comes around to 10%. So if you plan to use him in overload teams as a support, I would suggest to only go for his weapon if you have a lot of pulls saved up. Other than overload teams, his weapon will have a difference of 15 to 20% than the second best in slot. It's up to you to decide whether you should pull for the weapon. As for Durin himself, he is a really good pull, but some people will have to skip him regardless since they might want columbina, whose banners are speculated to come in 6.3. Moving on, let's talk about Venti. Let's talk about DPS Venti first. If you plan to only get Venti without his weapon, then he is a good upgrade from Wander DPS. But if you plan to also pull his weapon, he will become one of the best Anemo DPS in game with Chaska. I am not sure who would turn out to be better between those two. But you should only pull Venti if you want to play him as a support only. My reasoning for this is because very soon, possibly in 6.4, we will get Varka, who is speculated to be a Nemo Claymore DPS. Chances are Venti DPS won't be as good as Varka DPS, but still would be better than a lot of other characters. So Venti could be used as a support character in future, even though in 6.2 and 6.3 he'll be a really good DPS also. Moving on to Venti support, he is definitely powerful than what I had anticipated in one of my previous videos. He seems a really good support as long as his burst infuses and swirls other elements. I have also done calcs if Furozan would be better or Venti. Turns out, C0 Venti strongly competes with C6 Furozan buffs as long as you have the Hex Ray effects activated. If you guys are not aware, Furozan C6 is a really good buffer. So even just getting Venti C0 is really good. And the fact you can also enable Hex Ray's secret right effects from having Venti makes him a really good option for a lot of upcoming future teams. But I would definitely say that if you're low on pulls, Durin seems more valuable due to his flexibility in a lot of teams. For Venti, you will need to activate the Hex Ray buffs by doing the Witch's Homework quest and having 2 characters from Hexenzirkel for him to be good. Durin is already really good even in some teams where you don't have the buffs activated. The buffs just enhance him even further. So if you want to invest in Hexenzirkel teams, priority should be Durin first, and then Venti. So I suggest pull Durin and then Venti, but the most important thing to remember is that do not pull immediately once banners are released. Let more of 6.3 leaks show up first. Once we have information on Columbina's kit, then you can decide who exactly will be good for your account. Moving on to Phase 2, we have Verissa and Xilonen. First, let's start off with Verissa. She is one of the 3rd best DPS right now, competing with Flynn's. But chances are once Columbina is released, Flynn's might turn out to be better. This is only a speculation considering Columbina will work well with nod-krai characters, but usually the Archon-like characters always work well with their own region characters. So Flynn's might surpass Verissa soon enough. If you love Verissa and plan to pull for Ianson too, Verissa can be really good too. She can still brute force through Abyss easily with C6 Iansan. Just remember that Verissa heavily depends on Iansan for a lot of the damage, whereas Flynn's also depends on a nefer, but not as much as Verissa. I would say Verissa is a good option to those who need a DPS for another team and who plan to pull for constellations for Iansan. Personally, she is really fun to play with, so even if possibly she will be soon power-crept by Flynn's, I still think she cannot be replaced when it comes to overworld exploration. As for her weapon, I would say our 5 Widsith works, but getting her signature will definitely help you a lot. Her signature is a really good upgrade from our 5 Widsith, so you should definitely get it. So in conclusion, Verissa is a good DPS, but will get power-crept by Flynn's eventually according to future leaks. But I still think she makes the game so much easier with her exploration abilities and the amount of fun you can have while playing her. Moving on to Xilonen. Xilonen is also good, but I won't say she is good for every account. If you have Mavuika or Navia, you should definitely pull for her. And she is also good for Hu Tao and Milani teams. But as for other teams like Nuvolette and Arlecchino, I won't say for sure she is still good. If you guys checked my video about Durin team calculations, you would know that Durin does have more value in those teams now rather than Xilonen.
And pulling for Durin is more valuable considering he will work well with upcoming future Hexencircle characters. So Xilonen as of now is limited to a few teams like Mavuika, Navia, Hutao, and Malani. If you plan to invest in any of those teams, then Xilonen is a good pull for those accounts. As for her weapon, it's good but definitely not a must-have with Xilonen. You can use Favonius or the Natlon craftable on her. Only pull for her weapon if you want that slight upgrade and have a lot of pulls, since the upcoming patches after 6.2 might hurt your primos. So that sums it up. Verissa and Xilonen were much easier to talk about since they're going to remain the same as they are, while Duran and Venti have a lot of things to consider before pulling on them. Remember that the next patch, which is 6.3, will possibly have Columbina as the banner. She will of course buff nod-krai characters, but we can't say anything about non-nod-krai characters until leaks show up. Make sure to be wise with your primogem spendings, and I suggest not to pull for anyone until Columbina leaks start showing up. But that's only my suggestion. You guys can do what you think is the best for you. I will be sure to upload Columbina kit and gameplay as soon as it is revealed to us. So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss on the latest leaks. I won't keep you guys waiting any longer. See you all in the next one.